Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you're watching from. Um, Today, we want to discuss about the BOFAD strategy report. I want to give an explicit description, an explicit explanation of the concept of the strategy and how the template works and gives prediction and projection of the market. Okay, so I want to explain in detail the steps and the processes that the system works fully. So let me share my screen with you. Um, yeah. So as you can see here, this is the this is the scrapping report. Okay, so we're discussing the scrapping report today. Okay, so let's discuss the scrapping report today. So we'll be able to discuss another reports later. So this is the scrapping report. And the first thing about the scrapping report is that we have the daily high and low data. So every day we have to record an high price and a low price for each of the days. Okay. So we decide that data must be entered on daily basis. So here, if you see the yellow line, it means every yellow line is a Friday. That's what it means. So after the Friday, you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you have a Friday. So it now depends on which day it falls into. So that's the way the system works. Okay. So we have, and for every day, we must have a colored price, either as a green, an orange, or a red. Okay. So what differentiates, let's assume every day has an orange line, an orange figure. Okay. So, but in between the orange line as well, we have the green and the red. Now, if you look at it generally, you see that the greens are always at the bottom positions and the reds are always at the top positions. Okay. So sometimes it takes 4, 5, 6, 7 days or more than to move from a color to another color. Okay, so but the basis of this coloring between green and red is that after every green there must be a red, after every red there must be a green. Okay, so even though the greens are the bottom, the reds are the top, but there must be a color in between them. So you can't have two reds at the same time, or you have two greens at the same time. So one must come before the other. Okay, so that is the way the concept of this report works, the daily high and low data. Okay, so all we need to do on this is we ensure that we update this report every day and we put in the figures, and then professionally we identify the moves, which is the orange lines, and also professionally we identify the red and the green. Okay, so that is identified professionally. So it's not just ordinarily. Okay. So you can see, for example, look at DAX now. DAX took almost more than 2 weeks. And you see, from this point, from the green to the red. Whereas for crude oil, we're already seeing green, red, red, in between. So taking 4, 5, 6 days. But for DAX, you can see it's almost 2 weeks now, and it's still one stretch. Okay, so that's just the way it is. Okay, so as far as the stretch is still there, then it means that the green means that the market is going up, and then when get the red, it means the market is coming down. So that's what happens. Okay, so anytime you see a green, it means that the market is going up, which is in the buy mode, and whenever you see a red, it means the market is coming down, which is in a sell mode. Okay, So that is what happens. Okay, so you can see in between, you can see for each one, like look at this gold, green, red, green, and the red now for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves now. It's on the red. Look at Nasdaq as well. Green, red, green. You see, and the red is almost about 5, 6 days now. So that's how it works. Okay, generally. So look at JPY, green, red, and then it's been on the mode for a green ever since then. So any moment from now, it may decide to go on the red. It's now red, getting ready to move to the red side. Can you see that? Okay. So that is the plan for now on this. So that's how this works on the first side of the report. Okay. So we ensure that we update this on daily basis. So after updating this, what happens? When we go to the extreme right, all the information that we have been updating is being processed into a report. Can you see it? So all those information here is being processed to a report. So here we have the highest price. Here we have the lowest price for the month so far. So for the period so far, this is the highest month and the lowest price. Highest price is in red. The lowest price is in green for each of the months. Okay. And then here in the orange side, we have the difference, which is the gap in between the highest and the lowest price. Okay, so let me expand it a bit for you to see. So you can imagine here now, for example, look at AUDJPY. Sorry, this is March. So you can imagine now in March so far, according to our report of the March report, our highest price so far is 99.1 and our lowest price so far is 97.2. So we have a gap of 1.9. For AUD you can see our highest so far is 0.667, our lowest is 0.647. For crude oil, our highest so far is 81.3, our lowest so far is 76. So you can see that in between. So at once we just update, all these are being calculated automatically. Okay. So from the calculation as well, we have the lowest high, which is the LH, and the highest low, which is the HL. Okay. So this is the highest low and lowest high, and this is the highest low. Okay, so that is being calculated as well. And then this also is used to calculate the difference in between them. Okay, so the difference between the highest low and the highest high, and the difference between the highest high and the lowest high, and the difference between the lowest low and the highest low. So we have here. So even from this, it's able to give us an idea of where the market is currently, the range where the market has moved more towards. Is it more at the top side or is it more at the bottom side? Okay. So, and also gives us a position to be able to plan to buy and the range also to be able to sell. So anytime the market comes in between the top sides, we are good to sell. And anytime the market comes in between the low sides, we are good to buy. Okay, so it's just giving us a better information about which positions is good for us to buy and which positions for us is good to sell. Okay, so that's that. So now we have a decision using different formats. So this decision decides whether the market is a sell, whether the market is a buy, or whether the market is a no action. This also determines whether the market is a sell, whether the market is a buy, or whether the market is a no action. Okay, so all these reports have now been tabulated. All these reports that we have here have now been tabulated to a straight line here. So we have the low, low, the high low, the low high, the high high, and we have the average high and the average low. and we have the current price now. Okay, so all these have been tabulated on a straight line to make it easier to compare. Now, in most cases, what usually happens is that the low and the HH usually starts at the same at the beginning of the month, but as the month progresses, they begin to change direction. So it's either the low comes lower or the high goes higher. Okay, so but in some cases, one of them will remain static while the other side remains moving in direction. But sometimes as well, both sides also might change. Now, as they change as well, it affects the HL and the low H because they serve in between. So it just helps to be able to know when to put a caution to the decision as a buy or as a sell. Okay, so that's what that does. So in the process, using this information, then it brings about this. Now, for the control price, what the control price and the control price action is just telling us is that, look, according to the current price, we already have a control price. So the control price is determined manually, okay? So once the control price is determined at the end of the first week, like I call it, because we have week 0 and week 1. So once the control price is determined by the end of week 1, then we set the price for the control price, okay? So once the control price is being set, then we have the control action for the control price. So the current price will now be determining what the action to take based on the control price. So the control price in most cases may not change in the course of the month, but sometimes as well, it may change depending on how the market has moved. So, but as it changes as well, it tells us what action to take using the control price, okay? So, and that will determine on what the current price is. So for this template, for example, now, you see here we have control price of 98.6 and it's telling us the control action of a buy based on the current price at 97.3. Okay, so that's what we have according to this information. Now we have the maximum control price and the minimum control price. Now this is based on the history of the control price from the beginning. So you can see here we have the control price for January, we have the control price for February, we have the control price for March, and hopefully we are going to have the control price for April, for May, continually like that, okay? So what this means is that this, according to that information, this now helps us to generate the maximum control price and the minimum control price according to those information. So based on those maximum and minimum, we are now able to identify the gap, which is the distance between them, okay? So for example, now, for AUDJPY, the highest is 98.6 and the lowest is 96.6. So according to this now, the gap in difference between them is 2. Can you see that? So according to this now, we are now able to identify the position of the current price. So the position of the current price is determined by where the current price is in relation to the minimum or the maximum control price. So if the current price is nearer to the high, then it becomes a buy. But if nearer to the low price position, then it becomes a sell. Okay, so this helps to identify the move of the market and also helps to show where the market is going on the long run. And then, according to this position, we have the max position. So what does the max position does? The max position is just used to help to get the best results and more confidence about our decision. So what the max position does is that it compares the position figure and also the current action figure. Okay, so it gets the current position action as a sell or a buy and then compares it with our current action here. So when both of them remains the same, then it says yes. when both of them are different, it gives a blank space. Okay, so anytime both of them, as you can see here, AUDJPY has a sell, so it says sell here, but for AUDUSD, this has a sell, this has a buy, so it's given a blank. For Euro AUD, this has a buy, this has a sell, it's given a blank. For Euro GBP, this has a sell, this has a sell, it's given a sell. Can you see that? For Euro USD, this has a buy, this has a buy, it's given a yes here. Can you see? So for those of them that are in line with each other, it gives a yes. So when it gives a yes, it gives us assurance that as far as we are concerned, that is where the direction the market is going at that point in time. So all we just need to do is monitor it to know when the market is changing direction, and then we are going to be using that information to now revert our action from a buy mode to a sell mode, or from a sell mode to a buy mode. Okay, so that's what that does. So over the course of the month also, this is our summary report over the course of the month. So in the first week of the month, which is our week 0, like I told you, we have our LL, we have our HH. So our LL was 98, our HH was 99.1. So this is the report we always have at our week 0. Okay. So at the end of week 0, we have this static report, which we update. Now, at the end of week 1, we have this information. So this is used to compare our week 0 to be able to see how the market has moved or how the market has changed. And here we have the final report as a date. So this final update will change continuously until the end of the month. Okay, so this will change continuously from the week, from after the week 1. So we have week 0 here, we have week 0 here, so we have week 1 here. Okay, so after week 1 is now what we have here, and this will take us to the end of the month. So all we just need to do is to compare each of them and be able to see the prices that has changed and the prices that have remained the same. And that will also help us, and like I said, according to the information that we have earlier, this will now be able to give us a better decision on what action the market is going, whether the market is going as a buy or the market is going as a sell. Okay, and when you don't have any buy or sell, it means that the market is yet to decide or determine what action it's taking. So that was this stuff. Okay, so for example, now look at our HH in week 0 was 99.1. Our HH in week 1 was 99.1. Our HH in week 2 is 99.1. So our HH has never moved. So looking at this information, it means that based on this data, then the market has been a sell market all the way downwards. So if you look at it, look at our LL in week 0 was 98. Our LL in week 1 was 97.3, and our LL in week 2 is now 97.2. So it means the market is moving, and then you can see the decision as well is telling us this is a sell market according to the report that we have and according to the current price of 97.3. So look at the second one, for example. This will change indirectly because now, so look at it, look at what has happened now. So in week 1, week 0, our HH remains 0.66. In week 1, our HH remains 0.66. But in week 2, our HH has moved from 0.66 to 0.667. In week 0, our LL is 0.652. In week 1, our LL is 0.647. So which means our LL had moved from 0.652 to 0.647. But in week 2, our LL remains the same at 0.647, and then the market has moved upwards to 0.647. So the market has moved down from 0.652 to 0.647, and then from 0.647, the market has moved up to 0.652, and then is moving upwards and has gotten to a new peak of 0.667. So right from week one, this market has now moved upwards to a buy trend and has moved up to 0.667. Can you see that? So for crude oil, the high moved from 76.5 to 76 and then remained at 76. For the That's for the low. For the high, it started at 79.5, moved up to 81.3, and has remained the same. So now the market is still in between 76 and 81.3. So any moment from now, the market will move up either higher from 81.3 to 83, 84, 85, or it moves lower from 76 to 75, 74, 73. So that is what can happen any moment from now, and that is likely to be the final move of the market for the rest of the month. So that is the way it is. So that is the concept of this template, and that is the way that the system runs itself to update the market effectively. So you can see here, it shows the direction of the market as a sell or as a buy using this column. So it's able to help to identify. You can see here we have no action. So it means in both conditions, it's telling us no action. So what that means is now the market is here to decide which direction it's going. So it means that the market is here to decide which direction it's going, and then it can go either upwards or it can go downwards based on the current price. Okay, so these decisions are being based on the current price. So for example, for this, as you can see here, the market started, even though from the trend of this market, the market is on the uptrend as in a buy. Because why? Look at the 17, our low was 17,400 in week 0. It was 17,400 in week 1, and it's 17,400 in week 2. But the high moved from 18,100 in week 0 to 18,340 in week 1, and then to 18,435 in week 2. Okay, so that's why you see the low as its all chart. Okay, and also look at gold, for example. Our low remained 2015, while our high has moved from 2042 to 2090. Now it's at 2197. So that is how the market has moved in the course of the month of March so far. And that's why you can see here we have a buy trend all the way up. Okay, so that is the move or the way up. So that is how this has been able to help us to project the market effectively and helps us to get the correct decision. So every day, so anytime we have this report here, this report is being copied and updated on this position. So like today now, today is 8. The last update is 8. Okay, so that update is going to come here effectively to help us to identify the position of the market. Can you see that? So that now is being able to help us to update. So you can see the move. Now look at this AUD USD. You can see it's been a buy trend all the way. You can see the AUD GPY from a no action is moved to a sell. You can see the DAX is being a buy all the way. You can see. So it's either the market continues on the same trend or the market begins to change direction. So this also helps us to be able to help us to identify how the market is moving. So you can see here, the market has been a buy all the way for gold. For NASDAQ, it's been a buy all the way until now that is at a no action. So what is happening now is that it can either continue as a buy or it reverts back and change to turn to a sell. Okay, so look at USD CHF. It was a buy initially, and now it has changed back to a sell. Look at USDJPY as well. It was a buy initially, it's now changed to a sell. Look at new AUD card, it's been a buy. So that is the way the market trend has been moving all the way continually over the course. So this also will be able to help us look at GAP card as being a buy all the way. USD card initially was a buy and now it has changed to a sell. So this helps us to identify the peak of the market and then helps us to identify when the market trend is changing. And then we can also use this to be able to perfect our market movement and also be able to take actions effectively, correctly, and perfectly for the market. Okay, so this will help us to take our decisions effectively. So that's how this works. Okay, so again, we have the weekly high and low data. So after getting our reports on the daily basis, we now update them on the weekly. Okay, so this is for the first 3 days, and then every end of the week we update using our high and low updates. Okay, so what this does is also the same thing. It summarizes the performance for the week, and using this performance we are able to identify the trend of the market, whether the market is moving up or the market is moving down. So and then the period. So as you can see on this side, we have the maximum high and the maximum low, and we have the week that those positions were achieved. So as you can see here, 99.1 is our maximum high, and it was achieved in week 1. And our minimum low is at 97.2, and it was achieved in week 3, as you can see here. So that's how this report is obtained as well, just like I showed you earlier on the daily report. And here as well, you can see the differences between the high and the low. And then we also have here, we have the average between the high and the low, which is the midpoint. Okay, so you can see this report also gives us the information that we have earlier at the beginning. Okay, so after that, it also shows the trend. You can see here the LLHH, so it's still the same condition. But also on this template information as well, we also have another special report. And what is the special report? The special report provides a trend marker for our product. So what it does is that it considers a risk position. So after the risk, it now identifies whether the prices that the market should buy and the prices the market should sell. So what it expects is that for a buy market, we expect the buy to go upwards continuously or remain the same. So anytime a buy position is coming down, then that means the market is not a buy, but a sell. Okay. So for the sell movement as well, we expect the sell to be moving downwards. So whenever the sell is not moving down and it's going up, then that means the market is a buy. Okay. So that is what differentiates these two conditions from each other. So for example, now, if you look at this, so let me draw the chart for this. So let's look at it. Insert a chart. So you can see this chart. It tells this chart is moving down. So the blue line is a buy, the orange line is a sell. So the blue line is supposed to be going up, and the orange line is supposed to either remain the same or to come down. The blue line is either supposed to remain the same or go up. So in this instance, the blue line is coming down. So this shows that the market is a sell. Okay. And then it starts selling at 98.1 downwards. So that is it. So let's look at the next one again. You can see for the next one, initially the blue line came down and then remained static. Initially, the orange line remains the same and moving. So currently now, this is a buy movement, as you can see here, okay, for AUD USD. Look at the next one, gold. You can see currently now both of them are static. So any moment from now is either the market start buying from 79 upwards or it starts selling from 78.3 downwards. So either way, one of them must give way from now on to the end of the month. Okay. So look at DAX. You can see DAX, like I told you, it's a buy move because the buy is moving up. It remains the same, and it's the sell that is moving up. So you can see buy 17,294. So started buying at 17,294, and then we have this result. Okay. So for the next product, Euro UAD, you can see, even though it's a bit move, but it's more of a buy than a sell. Okay, so you can see, but now both of them are already around each other. So depending on the current price, what is going to show which direction the market should be going from now on. Okay, so look at this, is a sell move. Look at this. This is initially sell, initially a buy, but then it changed to a sell afterwards. So that's the way this report is being updated, and then it will now be able to provide a best decision of the direction that the market. You can see this is a buy market from the picture. You can see here this is a sell market. You can see here this is a sell market. You can see here this is a buy market. You can see here this is a buy market. So it gives us the direction of the market as quickly as possible. You can see here, this is a buy market. You can see here, this is a sell market. You can see here, this is a buy market. You can see here, this is a buy market. You can see here, this is a sell. It was initially a buy, then from buy, it changed to a sell. You can see here, this is a sell market. So you can see here, this is a buy. You can see here, this is a sell. You can see here, this is a buy. You can see here, this is a buy. You can see here, initially it was a buy, and then it changed to a sell. You can see here, this is a sell. You can see here, this is a sell. And you can see here, this is a buy. Okay, so that is how the market works. So that is how the prediction, the template is able to predict the direction of the market, and then we'll be able to use that effectively in planning the movement for the rest of the month. So today, as you can see here, today is the 9th. So we still have about 2 or 3 weeks to the end of the month. So from this information now, it's going to help us to project the next move of the market for the rest of the month. But I can assure you, according to this report, now only one side of it is likely to move for the rest of the month, while the other side will remain static. Okay, so that is how that is. Now, for the movements, like I showed you on the daily report, I told you we have the different positions, a green, a red, a green, a red. So these green and reds are what has been summarized into this position. So you can see the green, the red, the green, the green, the red, the green, the red. So all we just need to do is input those datas, all those green and reds, we input them here. And then after the inputs, it calculates the distance in between the moves. Okay, so the distance between the green and the red, the distance between the red and the green, and so on and so forth. So it calculates all those information on this side of the template of the report. Okay, so that's what that does. And that also helps us to know we have an average gap distance which we expect in between these positions. So anytime you see, for example, here you see a black in orange and yellow, orange or pink, you see a red. So anytime it's in black like these samples, it means that the market has just been able to move ordinarily, at least the minimum expected gap. Anytime you see the color in red, it means that the market has doubled the expected gap. So it shows that it also has more opportunity of reversing back. And when you see the market in this color, which is the orange and the white frame, that means the market has over moved beyond its expectation. So you can see here, for example, look at here, it's only supposed to expect to have moved 40, but now in the current move, it have moved 173. So that means it has moved almost 4 times, more than 4 times of its normal expected movement. So this means that this market now is a good market to make a turnaround to the opposite side. So what do we need to do? This shows that this is a good potential for the market to reverse. This also shows that the market is in a good potential to reverse as well. So this also shows, you can see here 4.2 shows that the market is in a good potential to reverse as well. So this information helps us to identify when the market has good opportunities, and then we are able to make use of that opportunity as much as possible. Okay, so apart from that again, so that is that for that. Okay, but also apart from that again, we have a report at the bottom which has been reformatted into a new template. So I don't think we need to discuss that on this area. So here again, we have our weekly report. Okay, so just like we have our weekly updates here at this point, like I explained earlier, we have our weekly. So this shows our weekly since the beginning of the year 2024. Okay, so we have our weekly in January. So these are our weekly in January. These are weekly in February. And this is our weekly currently in March. So this is how our weekly also will be updated on weekly basis. And then from this information as well, as you can see, it also has decisions. So it has positions to help us to identify, using the same information that we have, we are able to identify which month the high and the low positions are gotten. It helps us to identify the distance so far in the course of the month between the highest price and the lowest price. And also it helps us to identify the market moves. Okay, so if you look at here, you see a decision as S and B. So it means it shows whether the market is a sell or the market is a buy based on the current price. And this will also help us to know whether the market is in a W mode. W stands for wait, or it's in a B mode. B stands for buy, or it's in a sell mode. S stands for sell. So currently for this, okay, good. You can see here we have a sell mode here. So we have a B mode, we have a W mode. So at the end of the day, the market must surely be on a mode. So if it's in a W mode, that means that the market is not yet made a move at that current price, and then it can make a move using these two information. So it's either it buys upwards or it sells downwards. So this helps, the W mode helps us to trap the market to plan for the next move of the market. But once it's in a buy or a sell mode, then it means the market has taken that action and is already moving on that direction. So when the market is in W mode, it helps us to be able to reset the market, to reset our plan and get ready for the next move of the market. And because this is a long-term plan, it's even if we have an error in the short term, in the long term, we'll be able to recover the market as much as possible in the long term, because it helps us to make the plan and the move continuously. Okay, so, and also, as you can see here, this helps to give the current condition of the market based on So this helps based on the updates that we have here. So all we just need to do is get the current updates and post it. So this was the update as at last week. You can see month 2, week 4. So these are our updates as at month 2, week 4, the final month of month 2. So by the end of this month, we are going to have the update for month 3, week 4. Okay, so we are going to have a decision for month 3, week 4. So what it means at the end of the day is that it will be able to help us to identify when the trend of the market, the changes. Okay, just like I showed you here. Can you see? So at the end of the month, we are going to copy this and paste it on that column. That's what you're going to do. So for now, we'll be updating that um, every week. Okay, so we'll be updating that every week. Okay, so for now, as you can see, so this is still week 2. Okay, so month 3, week 2. So that's why so at the end of the month, sorry, was to paste it after. So let me repaste it. Because remember, it's a format, is a formula. So that's to follow the formula concept. So after pasting, I'm supposed to have pasted it again special. Good. Yeah. So, okay. So we have the current update for month 3, which is March week 2. Okay. So we are going to be using this to be updating it at the end of the month, every month. So you can see we have some of them that have the same in the course of the month. So for example, look at gold. It was a wait before it went to a buy. Look at Nasdaq, it was a buy in both months. Look at New Zealand USD, it was a wait so far. So it's just to help us to monitor the market so that we'll be able to identify when the market is changing trend. And also it changes trend, then we'll be able to follow it for the rest of the year. So you can see gold GBUD is currently a buy. You can see CHF JPY is a wait and then it's back to a sell. You can see New Zealand card is a buy and now it's gone to a wait. So it's likely now, for example, New Zealand card, it may decide to go for the sell for the rest of the year, or it may decide to go back to a buy for the rest of the year. So the end of March will determine what to act on. And for this also, look at this, it has been a wait for the past 2 months, okay? So what is going to happen? After now is either likely to just move on to a buy for the rest of the year or decide to move to a sell for the rest of the year. So it's one of either, okay? So this just helps us to be able to plan ahead and get the market ready for the rest of the year. So this update helps for the year projection so that we'll be able to know what position to plan for and what time and the market movement to be able to plan in advance of the market. Okay, so that's what this does um fully. Okay, so now, yeah, so this is another summary of our um weekly direct the movement updates. So remember I told you that this is also for another report. So what we do here is at the end of every month, we copy this, okay, and bring it into that position, okay? So this is for the year, okay? So far for the year, we have the prices here, and that's why we copy. So we have January, we have February, and we have March, Okay, so according to this report now comes down to finally update this final report, as you can see here. So this final report also tells us the direction that the market, where the market is moving. For example, now this shows that the market is high, so the market is going upwards for now. According to this report, this is low, the market is moving low according to the report. Okay, this is the long-term projection. So it means that from the start point when we started our report, the market, this has been the trend that the market has followed. And so in that instance as well, you see the gap in between them. Like initially it was 2.4, is now 3.6 based on that movement. Okay, so the market has moved higher from 97.9 to 99.1. Okay, whereas our low price of 95.5 still remains the same. So what is going to happen for the rest of the year is that is either the 99.1 continues to grow upwards, or the market changes direction and then our 95.5 continues to come downwards. So that is what is likely to happen by the end of the month of the year 2024. So this helps us to have a plan for the long term. Okay, so as a high or as a low. So this is just showing the status as at now based on the information that we have. So it's either it remains a high, it remains a high low, or it remains a low low. But after this month, after March, then we are going to um, consider the current position and then reevaluate the market and then plan for the rest of the year. Okay, so this is what is going to happen. So that's why you can see here we have 3 positions. So after the end of the 3rd month, we are going to reestablish this position and then we set up for the rest of the year. So at the end of the year, is either the market remains high, low, or it remains static, in which case it doesn't move, but that will not be the case. So it's likely to still follow this trend as an high move or as a low move after the 3rd month. So this is just a static point for us to consolidate the 3rd month, and then after the 3rd month, we prepare ourselves for the move for the rest of the year 2024. Okay, so this is what all this strategy report of the scrapping report is all about. So you can see that the scrapping report is a more in-depth, comprehensive report that indicates, helps to summarize, and can be managed by many people or just one person, but it all gives different reports at different times to be able to help us to take the best decision at every point in time so that we can be able to get the best result that we need in the market. Okay, so that is all that this is all about, the scrapping report. And hopefully by the time you are able to go through this teaching, this lecture notes, I believe you have a very good knowledge and understanding of this template, and you'll be able to use it effectively according to the right conditions that is expected to be. Thank you very much for your time of going through this template, this report with me. I remain yours and only Oluwase Farari. You can reach me on fadinvest@yahoo.ie, FADINVEST@yahoo.ie, or you can send a comment on this video whenever you have after watching it. Thank you very much. Have a nice time, and hopefully you can also be able to have time to study our other reports as shown on our channel. Don't forget, our channel remains Fad Invest Traders on YouTube, so you can always be free to watch all our recordings on YouTube to be able to get a better understanding of our strategies and be able to identify the one that suits you best and be able to learn more about it. Thank you very much. Have a great month and a great year 2024 ahead. Cheers. Bye.